Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are going to discuss this interesting chapter. We are not afraid if die if we can all be together. Okay, so this is chapter 2 of class 11th. Let's discuss this chapter. The writer of this is Gordon Cook. He's of very adventurous nature. Okay, so there are two kinds of people who like to take risk, who like to explore the world, and there are those people are like in their comfort zone, try to take risk. But the writer about we are going to discuss this, which is about he's of very exploring nature. Okay, so there are some people who are very exploring nature. So the writer himself is narrating this. So else are in this journey. There is a writer, name is Gordon Cook, and his wife Mary. His two children, one is Suzanne and another one is Jonathan. Okay, and later they also hire two sailors. We'll be discussing about it later. Since they fell into some adverse situation. Let's discuss that in detail. Background of this is revolves around we are talking about the writer narrates his story which happened in 1976. So they are they are of very exploring nature and they wanted to explore the world through sea route in a similar way which Captain Cook would 100 years ago. Captain Cook also a sailor. We are talking about Captain Cook. Okay, talking about Captain Cook was also a sailor, or you can say explorer, captain, and he founded Cape of Good Hope. Okay, Cape of Good Hope is is in southern tip of South Africa. They were they were very excited to explore this sea route which was explored by Captain Cook 200 years ago, and his entire family only wanted to cover this entire journey alone. He wanted to take his own the entire family. Okay, his entire family he wanted to take. He's a 37-year-old businessman. The person that we are talking about is yeah, the Gordon Cook. The writer of this story is Gordon Cook. Biographical, real life biographical story. Okay. And so he's narrating his own. The businessman by profession. He's a 37-year-old businessman by profession. Okay, so Gordon Cook is 37-year-old businessman by profession. His children, that is Suzanne, is 7 years old, and Jonathan is 6 years old. Okay, and he has his wife, which name is Mary. So they decided to take their journey from where? From England, Plymouth, England. Okay, so you can see Plymouth, England. Let's try to locate this on map. You can see this. I'm locating this on map. They started their journey from somewhere from here. This is England. Okay, they started their journey somewhere from here and they wanted to go to somewhere in Australia. Okay, so this is their normal journey which they wanted to undertake. Okay, they started their journey from England, that is England, Plymouth, England, and they wanted to go towards Australia. Okay, so this is their full journey which they wanted to cover. Okay, but what happened as they proceed further, as they proceed further uh, the first part of journey was very smooth. Okay, the first part of journey, if we discuss about the first part of journey, uh, this is the first part of journey. Look at here. The first part of journey was till Cape Town. This is Cape Town, South Africa. Okay, so the first part of journey was very smooth. This is the first part of journey from here to here, that is Cape Town. So the first part of the journey was very smooth. There was no issue. Everyone in the crew, they all enjoyed the first part of journey. Okay, we discussed this first part of journey. I forgot to discuss one important thing, that they made a huge preparation for this entire journey. They took almost 16 years to prepare. They were in advance. So they were waiting for this day early to undertake the sea voyage. They are taking this voyage, that is sea journey. they have prepared for this day almost for 16 years. What all they do? Gordon Cook, the author, that whenever he get spare time, okay, what is spare time? Spare time is, you can say, for instance, you must be having your spare time or leisure time. What is this leisure time? For instance, after going away from school, you must also be having some leisure time. That is, uh, for instance, you must be having some leisure time in which you try to play something, some video game or something else, or you can say you try to learn something new. What did Gordon Cook did when whenever he got opportunity of a leisure time, he prepared for this voyage. Okay, preparing for the boat, learning how to navigate himself to turbulent weathers. These skills he was learning in advance, because he knew that he has to learn these skills when he go to act in actual sea. Okay, he made a very long preparation for this. Okay, so let's discuss. As I have discussed, that first part of journey was which was from England, Plymouth, Cape Town. It was very smooth. There was no, and from here, Cape Town, they hired two sailors. Who were the two sailors? They were Larry Vigil. What were the name of the two sailors? They were Larry Vigil, who was from America, and there is another sailor name was Herb Urgler. Okay, these are two sailors they hired for this part of the journey. Because why they have hired? Because let me explain you through map. Okay, why they have hired this? Because uh, now they were about to confront this southern Indian Ocean. So what is this? This southern Indian Ocean. Okay, this is southern. Now this is very disturbed part of the ocean, the most disturbed part of the ocean. They wanted to hire some professionals that, and since they were heading towards Australia, they hired uh, professional sailors. This were them, Larry and Herb Surgler. So they were the sailors. They hired these two sailors first, so that the rest part of journey could. But what they noticed the moment they crossed the first part of uh, the once they moved several kilometers ahead from Cape Town, what they noticed that the weather started deteriorating from 25th of December. Okay, the weather started deteriorating. But what happened as they moved further? What happened as they moved further? They noticed that the weather was becoming from bad to worse. So till 1st January, till Christmas, everything was fine. They were enjoying, Christmas, and they had a very nice day. Everything else was fine. But the moment they moved ahead, and the moment 2nd January approached, whenever they moment they approached 2nd of January, this is the time. This is the time when weather started deteriorating. Okay, waves, stormy waves of the gales, in form of gales, they were so that they were completely confused what to do. So the writer is describing the waves. You can say very scary. They were rising to the height of mast of the. Let me discuss you with you. There are certain terminologies which has been used in the chapter. So there are, you look at the ship. And there are certain terminologies which the writer has used. Okay, so there are certain terminologies. So this is the mast, the pole standing vertically in on the sea. That is a mast. The writer is trying to say the height of the waves were so high, almost 15 kilometers to the level of mast. This 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 pole which is in the middle of the plane. This was the level of the height, almost 15 meters. So it was rising to high. They were expecting that the intensity of the wave might recede, but the weather became from bad to worse. Okay, there are certain more terminologies which the writer has discussed. So let's discuss very briefly. Uh, deck is a floor of the ship. Deck is a floor of the ship. Deck is floor of the ship, and there is a hull. Hull is a outer structure of the ship. Okay, hull is a water. watertight structure of the outer structure of the ship made of wooden, wooden structure, outer structure. So this is what the writer wanted to say, that entire structure of the ship was damaged, started flowing, because the height of the storm was high, that water started seeping into the ship, and it was as it was uh, and as you know, entire structure of the ship was damaged, that the water started seeping, and the writer and along with all crew members, they have to struggle a lot to pump this excess water outside, because if you don't pump water outside, then due to heavy weight of water, there is a fear that ship could be drawn away. So they had to struggle a lot. Entire 2nd January and 3rd January was lost in this pumping the excess water out. Entire day went by. How they luckily found that one spare pump was uh, lying on top of the ship. So the main pump was, damaged. Somehow they managed to find some another spare pump. They have to pump water out very fast, because if the level of water increased, there was a fear that ship could run away. In this storm is much friends. This storm, the writer is so much he's very badly injured, and his ribs are broken, his mouth is badly wounded. Even his children's are even his child Suzanne, she's very badly injured. She has a swollen head, but she did not complain about it. Father, are you not? Why are you not attending me? Or why are you not? Why have you brought us into some these kind of trouble? So she's not very they are not very complaining nature. They knew that what was the precarious situation the family was in, so they were calm. Okay, so they have to constantly pump water out, and they have to struggle for 36 hours constantly without any relaxing. For 36 hours they have to struggle to pump this excess water out for 36 hours. But finally they did succeed to pump this excess water out significantly, not to complete extent, but to a significant extent. They did succeeded in pumping this excess water out. But what happened on 5th of January, went to his children hopelessly that now nothing is going to happen. Now, there is a very little a hope that whether they will be surviving. So he just went to his children casually to meet them. But let's see what happened. Friends, when he meet his children, what he found, that children were they were so what he noticed, that the children were courageous, panicking. What he noticed, that Suzanne has significant uh, injury in her head, and still she was standing brave, and she didn't even complain about these. First, and what did Jonathan said, Daddy, we are not afraid to die if we can all be together. Okay, this was the biggest strength, and this is the main message which the writer wanted to convey to us. Okay, it shows the message which the writer wanted to give here is about love, it is about unity, it is about courage. These are so you can see the level of maturity these children have, even in such turbulent storm. They are they are in a way, their calmness, and they are not complaining with their parents that you have brought us in this precarious situation. At them, they are they're calm, and they are constantly cooperating with their parents. All crew members are working as a team member. Okay, everyone is involved in ensuring that they are all safe. uh, the moral of the story and word of Jonathan, Daddy, we aren't afraid to die if we can all be together. So this was such a moral booster for you can say the writer, who is Gordon Cook. This line was so much inspiring and moral booster, that now he was so much determined that now he will save his family anyhow, come what may. Now he decided, was so much determined that will save his family in this from this adverse situation. Then he went back to his cabin, and he took some map, because there are certain instrument within the ship. There is a map there is a magnetic device, there is a sextant. So these are some terminologies which have been used or which has to be discussed in a very detailed manner, which I'll be discussing. There is a sextant. What is this? And what is this device sextant? It is a device to locate the direction of the ship. Okay, this is you navigate to the right direction of as so map, magnetic compass, and this device is you navigate the ship to the proper direction. Okay, so similarly, Jonathan, sorry, Gordon Cook is has finally succeeded in locating one small island which was somewhere 1,000 kilometers away. You can say 85 kilometers small island. It is a volcanic island. So in very not so hopeful manner, you can say Leslie, we decided that if we rotate ship to 185-degree, okay, if we rotate our ship to asked his two sailors, what did Gordon did here? He asked his sailors to rotate. If we rotate the direction of the ship to angle of 185-degree, then might be we might be able to save ourselves. Okay, but still he is not sure that definitely whether he'll be able to save himself or not. But hopelessly he said ki let's try, there is nothing harm in trying. And then he was so much exhausted and tired, he went back to sleep. And suddenly was supposed to get up at 5. He was expecting that by 5 o'clock, by 5 o'clock that he will reach to that volcanic island. But when he got up, he saw that was 6 p.m. and still, you know, there's no hope. But he was waked by their children, and Jonathan greeted him that you are the best father of the world and the best captain of the world. And he was informed that finally that we have reached that volcanic island. And he was so much surprised and excited by this news. The message here, students, is very important. You can imagine the level of maturity these small children are showing at this adverse situation. They are not panicking. They're panicking that you are not attending to my injuries, you are not attending uh, of why have you brought such adverse situation, were comfortable there. And so they are not complaining, they are showing level of maturity. They knew their children knew that uh, their parents are in precarious situation, and they are trying their best to take them out from this situation. So this is the message which they wanted to. So small children just look at the level of maturity. Small child Jonathan, just 6 years old, her daughter Suzanne, 7 years old. So this is the first message. And second theme is about team spirit. Just look at the team involvement in uh, such adverse situation. Everyone is involved. Everyone, whether it is his sailors, whether it is his you can say whether it is a wife who steer the wheel, because wheel has to of the ship has to be rotated certain angle to navigate the ship in proper direction. A wife is also involved, and entire team effort is there, and they all show some kind of calmness, patience, and that strength and courage such adverse situation. And finally they did succeed in coming out from this dangerous and precarious situation. We all can have we all might have faced such kind of scenario. Imagine all might be going through some kind of endless highway, and imagine what will happen when suddenly your car stops functioning. Then might also face some similar situation, and in such situation you also have to show some kind of presence of mind. Okay, we all should have that presence of mind and that exploring nature, and stop complaining about that we are in trouble. Okay, all should have that problem solving skill. Okay, this is these are the important messages which the writer wanted to give. It is about love, it is about team effort, it is about sense of belongingness which the children have, that we are all together, then what is the will be saved. Okay, these are some messages the writer wanted to give. was it for today. So thank you very much, guys.